Vision Forward's In Focus team presents.
Hi, this is Luke Scriven here at Vision Forward. Welcome to another In Focus Deep Dive. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at some low vision accessibility options which we have when we're browsing the internet. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to be doing this with Microsoft Edge, which is the web browser which is built into Windows 10. But these things that we're going to take a look at, they should work with any internet browser. So whether you're using Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox or whatever else you might be using, as long as it's a Windows computer, then these things should work. Now bear in mind, I am using Windows 10. I can't guarantee that all of these things will work with older versions of Windows, but you can certainly try them out. So let's go ahead and open up our internet browser here. Let me just make this full screen. Now I already have a page open here which is just a news story, and it has some images and it has some text. Let's start off here. We're going to take a look at one of the most basic things which we're able to do, which is magnify the web page. And the way that this works is we can magnify the web page, and as long as it's been formatted in HTML5, then as we enlarge it, it will actually automatically fit to the width of the screen. And so we will just be able to kind of move up and down and read the story, and we won't have to move left and right even though we've magnified it. Let me show you what I mean here. I'm going to hold down Control and press plus. And each time I do it, it's going to make this web page larger. However, even though it's making the web page larger, it still doesn't exceed the horizontal boundaries of the screen. Everything is fit into kind of the vertical space, and so I can just pan up and down, and everything still fits in the width of the screen. This is really beneficial because one of the annoying things about magnifying is that we have to then start to move left and right in order to kind of pan across the sentences and see everything. And this can help to allow us to avoid that situation. Now, it doesn't work on all web pages. It will only work on web pages which have been formatted correctly for this. However, that does tend to be quite a lot of web pages these days, and so it's definitely something worth trying. If we want to make it smaller again, we can hold Control and press minus, and it will go ahead and start to make it smaller for us again. So that's a very neat trick which should work on most, if not all, internet browsers. Now let's take a look at another trick, which is the Windows magnifier. And this is going to magnify the page that we have here. This will involve most likely some kind of panning left and right. So this isn't quite as good in that regard, but it does work on any web page, or in fact anywhere across our computer. So in order to activate this, we're going to hold down the Windows key, and as we're holding it down, we'll press the plus key. And here we go, we've turned on the magnifier. Now each time when we're holding down the Windows key, each time we press plus, we will magnify more. And we can magnify quite large. So at the moment I am on 300% magnification. And as I said, this does require some panning, so we're not fitting the entire sentence that we're looking at the moment on the screen. So as I move my mouse to the left and right, it will pan to the left and right. And then obviously as I move it up and down, it will pan up and down as well. One of the slightly confusing things about this is I'm moving the mouse down to pan, and now I'm at the bottom of the web page, but I know that there's more to the web page, so then I have to scroll as well in order to move the web page up and down. So you have these two different things going on. You've got left and right and up and down panning just by moving the mouse pointer around, but then you've got the scrolling that you would usually be doing. Either with me, I'm using a laptop, so I'm using two fingers on the touchpad to scroll, or you can use the scroll bar over on the right hand side here in order to do the same thing, scroll up and down the page. So it is a little bit tricky in that regard, and there's a bit more to kind of bear in mind if you're using the Windows magnifier. Now, one of the other features of the Windows magnifier is there's a color inversion mode, and this will invert all of the colors on the page. So let me go ahead and activate this. I'm going to hold down Control, Alt, and then press I. and it's now inverted all of the colors. So we had a white page, now it's black. We had black text, now it's white. And also all of the colors of the pictures have been inverted as well. Now this isn't really ideal because now the pictures look a little bit strange because all of their colors have been inverted. So this is the downside to color inversion with the magnifier. Let me go ahead and turn off that color inversion by holding down Control Alt and pressing I. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit here as well in order to show you a different way that we can invert the colors. And this way might be considered more of a kind of smart invert in the sense that it will not affect the color of pictures. And so it is a bit better in that regard. This is the high contrast mode that's built into Windows. We can activate this high contrast mode by holding down Alt, left shift, and then print screen. We'll hear a beep and we'll get a message asking if it's okay to turn on high contrast. I'm going to press enter to confirm that it is. And now we see that we are in the high contrast mode. This is really good. It's super sharp and the colors are very black and very white, so we get very good contrast. And if I scroll up here, we will see that this image has not been affected, which is excellent because we don't want the images to be affected. And so we have these two different methods of color inversion. The high contrast mode that we're using right now might not work everywhere, and so in the case that it doesn't, we do have that Windows magnifier color inversion option as well. Let me turn off high contrast mode. I'm going to hold the Alt, left shift, and the print screen, and that should turn it off for us. There we go. And now we're back to our regular web page colors here. So all of these things have been very beneficial and certainly could allow us to get access to our web page. And there is one more thing which is very cool, which also could be very beneficial, and this is a read aloud function. Now everything else that I've shown I know definitely works in Windows 7. This read aloud function, I'm not sure if it's specific to Windows 10 or not, so if you do have Windows 7 it might be something you should try. To turn it on we can just right click, and in the menu which opens we can choose read aloud.
Miami 14 crew members on the navigator of the Seas cruise ship, currently docked in Port Miami. Cruise Company into speeding up efforts to send them home.
Okay, and there we go. So the way that it works is it will start to read whatever is in front of you, and you can actually click anywhere on the page to have that particular area be read aloud, and it's very fast and it's super easy to get going. The main downside to this is there don't seem to be any keyboard shortcuts to make it pause and then to make it play again. And so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to turn on the Windows magnifier just to show you where those controls are. So let me go ahead and magnify a little bit here. All right. So what happens is when we turn on the read aloud mode at the top of the internet browser, and to the right hand side there is the read aloud control panel which opens, and we have a few different options here. We have a play button, which would be a pause button as it's reading, and we also have a back button, and we also have a forward button, and we also have a button which allows us to change the voice. I think we're set to Microsoft David at the moment. Yes, we are. And we can also adjust the voice speed inside here as well, and so either slower or faster. And we can also ultimately close the read aloud function. But we can see this is a very flexible and beneficial tool to allow us to get access. I mean, imagine you have a page full of text, for example, a Wikipedia article. It could be quite a slog to get through that if you have a vision impairment. So using the read aloud function, we can have it read aloud to us, and it could give us a lot more easy access to that. Let's just listen to it one more time. Let me hit the play button.
Copyright Richard Tribau / Orlando Sentinel / TNS Royal Caribbean. Crew of Romanian citizens on the Royal Caribbean International ship, which has been at sea for about 2 months, has grown so weary of waiting to see proof that they'll be sent.
And as we can see, it also highlights the text as it's reading it. So all in all, a very cool feature. One final thing that I want to discuss is shortcut keys for navigating across the internet. And there is a number of different shortcut keys for accessing various things. For example, to access your favorites list, you can press Control and I. To navigate to your home page, you can press Alt and the Home key. I want to tell you one of the ones which I like the best, which is Alt and D. And this will take us to the address bar. And of course, the address bar is something which we'll probably be using frequently when we go on the internet, because that's where we type in the address of things that we want to, of websites we want to go to, or in fact we can use it as our search bar as well. So in order to easily get there using the keyboard from wherever we are on the web page, if we just press Alt D, it will go ahead and move us into the address bar, select all of the text in there, and we can just start typing whatever website or search term we want. So rather than having to move all the way to the top of the page, we can just hit Alt-D and then start to type whatever it is that we're wanting. Well, I hope these various different accessibility options for internet browsing are of use to you, and please do try them out if you have a Windows computer and you're looking for some assistance. And of course, if you have any questions about any of those things or anything else assistive technology related, you can get in touch with us. We have a phone number, 414-615-0103. We have a website, vision-forward.org, and our email is infocus@vision-forward.org. We do release new videos every Friday, so please stay tuned to the channel. And if you did like this video, like and subscribe if you would. It really helps us out. And we shall see you in the next video.